Right, how's that looking? I'm trying to put it in a place where you're not going to get too much from the window at the back. So, right, so these are something I've kind of knocked up years ago. You can see how covered in oil they are. They're mahogany blocks. This one's 30. This one's taken out to about 32. So the idea is you drill a hole through them and then you stick them through the bandsaw, and what you've got then is a set of soft vices for mucking about with these. Right, so most important thing, which I've forgotten to do, well, not forgotten to do, we haven't done yet, is take the core out. Oh. Bear with me, I'm faffing. You're still recording, aren't you? All right. Just clean the tray up. We need a tray for the bits. I don't know what it is with these, but they do not like coming out. Oh, there we go. We've got it. It's because I started looking at the pliers. One of these brand new the other day, I was fitting to somebody's bike that was a bottom loader, so the valve was actually in the top. I couldn't get that out either. Right, where's the core? Wouldn't be good if I'd sorted all this kit out. I'm sat talking with my back to you again as well, which doesn't help. Nope, can't find it. Bear with, I've lost my corer. I had it the other day, but like with most things, I've not put it back. So we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way of just letting it out. Normally, I'd stick the corer in and just pop it. There's not actually a lot of volume of gas in these. It's just that it's under very, very, very high pressure. And what you'd normally do is stick the corer in and just rotate the core out and then check the core. But I can't find the corer. I thought I had it. I thought it was over here, which is where I normally keep it and leave it. But rather strangely, it's not here. Just in case I didn't say that, that's the saddle that was on the bike when it came. That's what they call a big nose. It's an on-one big nose. They're all right. They're not a cheap and nasty saddle, but they're not the most comfortable saddle. You know the the corer will turn up 2 minutes after we stop videoing. It will found it. There you go. It was behind a book. It was over there. So just to be on the safe side, let's get the core out. Yeah, that looks fine. That can go in there. Right, so we know we're good now. There's a split pin and stuff on there we can take out and get that lot cleaned out. But I can't remember the exact order you're supposed to do this in, but I've got a funny feeling you know what, I can't remember. There's a whole load of split pins and things you take out and you pop it off. There's one in there to get the top piece off. This assembly, all I'm bothered about really is getting this off and seeing what it looks like in there. So we will do that first. Let's get the big persuader out. Can you see that? So I'm pointing at things you can't see again. Nope. 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 Right. I'll give it one more go at this, and then what we might have to do is get the is put a piece of rubber around it. Yeah, don't really want to squeeze this too hard because you can damage the nope, not having it. So let's get a bit of rubber. Well, it's a whole lot better with a bit of rubber. Let me just hold you there while I go find it. So don't throw any of your old mountain bike tyres away, because they are always useful for stuff like this. Sorry, inner tubes. So I'll bodge that on there. Give it one go at this, and then I'll have one last go, and I'll jack it at the bottom. Just a bit nervous about over tightening it, because I really don't want to compress or damage a thing. This block isn't made exactly for this size. I was thinking about it. No, it's not having it. Unless I'm doing it the wrong way. No. Let's try one more thing. It is slightly off centre because it's on the edge of the vise, so what we'll try is try it further down. Not low enough. Come on. You can see why I've never serviced this before now. Thing is though, it just hasn't gone wrong. It's once ended up with a bit of dropper sag, and it's one of two things. That it's either it's lost gas, so it hasn't got enough gas to keep it upright, or sometimes you get an airlock, and if you hang it upside down, it sorts themselves out, because it's actually the locking mechanism at the top that's hydraulically operated gets an air bubble in it, and it doesn't lock out properly. But it was under pressure. It was about 150 psi, and it should have been up at 200. Oh, there we go. Gotcha. Try and use the same marks again, so I'm not buggering up any other bits of it. Right, so here's the moment of truth. What it's going to look like. Let's just move you around a bit. Do you want to go up a bit higher? Will that help? So stand up straight. How's that look? See, now you're pointing at the other window. Oh, it's standing there, but how's that looking? It's not looking that bad. Right, okay, so let's... now, I think these are supposed to be able to come out the top, or is it the bottom? You thought it would come out that way. Do you know what? I should have read the manual on this. I can feel the play now. See, I thought yeah, they are. The grooves are there. So it should come out upwards. Just actuate the... There's still a bit of pressure in that. There shouldn't be, because I've taken the valve out of it. it does look a bit hacky. Yeah. I don't know where that's come from. That looks like a bit of, oh, that's slightly worrying, because that looks like a bit of Teflon, which is a bit worrying, because there's a Teflon guide in there. You can see there is a bit of play. Now, for some reason, I'm struggling to get that out. So, let's have a look at the bottom. I could just go and get the manual, but that would take all the fun out of it. I know that bit comes out. So I find I haven't got the right nosy bits to do this. Are we back? Right. Sorry, SD card full. Got a backlog of stuff to strip off the SD card. Right, so that's the split pin on there. That's looking decidedly crusty. Looks like it's covered with that. It's got anti-seize on it. It's interesting. But it could just be full of shit. Yeah, looking at it in there, it's just full of shit. So I'm not sure if that comes out now. Oh, yep, that's trying to come out. There we go. Yeah. Well, that answers that question. Right, so that's the wiper seal. So it looks like this is fairly terminal. I'm not sure you get this one out, whether you unscrew it or. Ugh. Yeah, there's muck got in the. Actually, I'm not sure. That's definitely the wipe. Now, I thought the wipe sat the other side of the other bit. I think we might end up buying that service kit. So that's supposed to be soaked in oil, and it's supposed to keep the muck out of there and keep it lubed up with oil. But that feels fairly dry and crusty. And it doesn't feel like it's wanting to move nicely at all. And it's got all mangled up as well. I think it's supposed to sit the other side or something. There's also this up here, which I can't exactly remember what you're supposed to do with this. I might have to go and look at the manual in a minute. That's how bad it is. Because we do try not to look at the manuals. Even though, as we know from the SRAM debacle the other day, it does help if you go and look at the manuals. Right, so that's out. That's out. So I'm not sure what that does for me now. Oh! Right, I suspect I didn't want to do that because I'm now going to have to bleed it all because that looks like hydraulic. Right. I think that was the reservoir for the actuator. So I think all I've done now is just made myself an absolutely massive job to get that back in. That's fun. Yeah. Yeah, so what happens is when you press on this, yeah, it squirts the oil in there. There's a piston in there. It presses the valve down in there, which is on the back side of that. And that's spring loaded, which will now go in because I've released the pressure off it. So It just means I've now got to bleed all this again, which is a right bleeding nuisance. So if I'd have read the instruction manual, I'd have known I didn't need to take that off. So before we lose any more oil, let's shove that back in. And focus on working out how we get this bottom piece out. Now I was pretty convinced that this came out of the top, but I think there's something on. You've got to obviously, right, no, I remember now. Yes, that unscrews from there, so you need another one, which I might just get away with that. I do have some more of these, by the way. Right, I'm going to be a bit naughty. I'm going to use. In fact, no. Let's do this. Let's do this scientifically. So what we'll do is we'll measure this up, because I haven't got one that's close enough to this already. So we are at, bang on, 10 mil. So what I'll do is I will drill out this with a 9.5. And we'll see how we go with that. I might try 9 first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill out down there with a 9. Just line it up so it looks good. Yeah, we'll do a 9 first, and then we'll have a go to 9.5. If that doesn't work, I'll explain why in a minute. Nine. That's a 9. 9. 9. It's not. Yes, it is. 9. Yeah, so that there is stopping me taking the shaft out the top to get that piece out, and the guides are in there. So what we're going to do is we'll drill through this with a 9. You see, if I drill through that with a 9, when it sits round it, it'll be close enough. Now I think I probably need a 9.5 to get it closer to the angle, but we'll see how we go with this. See, bit of woodwork. No, that's not going to work. It's going to need a 9. Actually, I need a 10. Right. Got a 9.5 here. I've not actually drilled that very well. I should have centre punched it, to be honest. If it doesn't work, I've got another one in there and I'll just use it on that. What I should have done is centre punched it. I'm slightly off the centre line, so I've got more of the circle out on one side than I have on the other. Right. And because I've added it to pieces now, it's not centred anymore, so we'll just shove that back in there. And then put that one through. So Let's see how that works. It doesn't. That's still miles off. I suspect it's because of that. Let's not do it in the clean bit. There we go. That'll do it. Now, apart from one thing, that's not gone all the way through. Trying to keep all the mucky stuff to this side so we don't. No idea why you turned off there. That was just a random one. Right, so we've got that crimped in there now. We just need to get a spangler on here to undo this. I could use a socket, but I've got this at hand. I'm just going to very gently tighten it up harder than that. Oh, it's not a reverse one, is it? It's not having it. I'll have to pack that one as well. Just try and get it a bit more centered in the jaws. There we go. These are all pretty scabby. The muck has made it through to the thing. What's weird is that this is actually inside the frame. So the fact that it's managed to pull all this muck up is interesting. I'll need to have a think about why it's done that. I mean, it could be that it's anti-seize grease or something. Not sure. It is vented though, so I'm not entirely sure how that works. Because they are definitely holes, but yeah, it's got a seal around it. So it's a bit strange. I'll have to do some research on these. Alright, so in theory now this should come out. Aha. Right. Right, so that's the wiper. Right, so that went up and in. Now I think the wiper was supposed to be north of that. There is still something else in there as well. Interesting. Move this out of the way. Yeah, there's definitely something else in there. Anyway, the bit that we're interested in is this bit. We'll see what the state of this is. Right. Actually, it doesn't look that bad. That's just grease. They're the guides. We cannot lose these. So we'll just push them out. Now, see, I'm not sure what's happened with that because I thought the wipe sat further up. Well, that was a big lump of something horrible and snotty. And hard. That's worrying. Right. That wasn't good. Right, so they're the pins. Oh, you beauty. I'll need to go and check that, but I might have just dropped lucky 1 in 7. They look like they've got 6 ridges on them. Right, so I've just pulled out, there's 2 chunks in there. There's one I pulled out earlier, and there's that. Now, I'm not sure what they're of, but they do look like Teflon material. Now, the weird thing about this is that the bushings on these are the little brass things that sit in those grooves, and they're the same for most of these droppers, and then they sit in some ridges that run up and down here. And they're always in the orientation that that's towards the front. So I'm not entirely sure what that is. It's felt crunchy, but I can't see anywhere else it's come from. It's not come from in there because that's the piston. That's the compressed air bit, right? So we don't need to touch that. We know that's good. That pressurizes up, and we haven't got any issues with that bit. Hold on a second. So this bit here is the Teflon slider, and that's not got any bits missing off it either. So I don't want to take that off because they will snap. They're quite brittle. But I didn't really want to get into stripping that out, but I might have to drop that in and undo that just to clean out the muck behind there. So let me just give this a bit of a wash up. This is becoming a very long video actually, because this was going to be a sole separate piece on its own. So it might still be. You might be watching this under a separate video. Right. So that doesn't look bad at all. Actually, there's no scoring on the tube. Put that down there. Problem is, it's all cables and stuff, and it'll end up flicking itself on the floor. I need to have a look at wherever it's gone. I hope I haven't lost that. What's there? Yeah, I could do with having a look at that. I don't know if I can get that off past there without taking all that paraphernalia off. No, that's got to come off. So I've got to take that off to get that off, because I want to have a look at that and just see how that is. So I thought the wipe was in there, the oil wipe, but obviously there's one on there as well that's got mangled up, which is that one, and you can see it's seen better days. They need to be oiled, and that obviously sits somewhere. That goes in first. So there is something else in here that I couldn't get out. Oh, right, it's just an O-ring. Just a ring. There you go. It's not an O-ring off that. So it's just another ring. That's interesting. So there's a ring, and I'm not sure what that ring does, to be honest, because if that went in, that goes in like that, that went in like that. Now, the only thing I could think of is that I thought it went like that, but I could be wrong. It could be that. We'll need to go and have a look at the instructions. That's the worst bit, it's the fact I haven't got a wipe. Now, I'm not sure, I don't even think I've got anything I could make one of those out of, unless I do a bit of Googling and seeing if I could find something that's an oil wipe, 10mm inside diameter, and then it's whatever the inside diameter that is. That looks fairly clean in there. Don't know if you can see that. That looks fine. So we've got no worries there. This is pissing hydraulic fluid all over the floor, because that's good when we like that, because that's not good at all. Right. So I think I just need to just take a quick break here. In fact, no, I will take that off. That's just pretty sure I've got one for that. or something near. Yeah, that's the one for that one. Look at that. This is the one I made for the brand X dropper I did. I don't know if I videoed that one. I might have done. Did I? Was that before I was videoing? It was the white. Had a brand X dropper on, and we tried fixing it about, well, no, it wasn't because it was about a year ago. I tried doing that one, and we did fix it, but he'd already made his mind up. He wanted a reverb dropper because they are the best, unfortunately. I mean, you can see. I mean, this is literally 8 years old, and it's never been serviced. And you would probably say, and that's why that wiper looks like it does. Oh, come on. Okay, we're going to do like that, aren't we? So deploy the rubber again, or something similar. Let me just check. That might be our alarm. Nope, that's somebody else's alarm. Somebody else has got the world of pain to deal with, sorting out flipping house alarms going off. It's obviously not a power cut. Might be on a separate circuit. It won't be the first time they've gone off and we haven't. Right, put that back in there like that. Stick that in there. Bob is your uncle. Fanny is your female identifying aunt. Come on. It's just, it's tight. Everything's tight. That is a 24 or a 23. Sadly, I haven't got one of those in the racket. But 25, I've got a 22. Don't think it's one of those. Pretty sure it's not one of those. Huh. What am I looking at? My eyes on backwards or something. That definitely says 23. Hold on. Hold on. 22. 25. Where's the one that said 22? Try that one. I think we can deduce from that it's a 20. I'm just getting a bit wary with that one because it seems to be flexing a bit much. 1, 2, it's a 23. Well, that's more better. Pop. Oh, well, let's have a look at it. Teflon tape. That looks okay. We could probably pop that off. No, that looks fine. I don't think there's anything to worry about with that. Guide looks good. Just drop that in there. The bit I'm interested in is this bit here. Right, so there's a Teflon. Right, there we go. Now we know where all the crappy bits are coming from. Right. I think those bits that we keep finding have come from here. That's a bit of Teflon. So it looks like that rebuilt. Oh god, a minute. That's a big lump. Yeah. So the Teflon bushing in there has worn out. Damn. So it is the £50 service kit. Right, there is a wiper in there as well. I was right, there is a wiper in there. So if you can, I don't know if you can see the Teflon glide in there is gone. So actually we probably caught that okay before it actually started damaging and chewing the seat stem up. So that's going to be a bit of a crapper. That's going to take some. We're going to have to wait for that to be delivered. Back on eBay again. Actually, no, they were at Amazon. Yeah, that's properly knackered. Oh well, we tried. The thing is, I'm moaning because it's 50 quid, but I think these droppers are about 300 and something quid now. So they're massively expensive compared to where they were when I first bought it. So I can't grumble. I've had my money's worth out of it. So that's us pretty much snookered now. What we will do is I will print off the rebuild instructions for this so we can put it back together properly. In the meantime, I'll clean up all this stuff so it's all ready to be reassembled. I won't bother with that on camera. We'll get the rebuild kit, we'll put this back together, and then we'll get the rest of the bike built. I might put this as a separate video when this comes now, so I'll do the disassemble and the reassemble all in one go, and we'll put it as a separate video for the droppers. So if you're watching it, carrying on in a minute, you'll know what I've done. If not, I'll be recording this and cutting it off and doing the whole lot as a rebuild. But that's where we are for it. Not the best outcome for the day, but at least we caught it. So we'll call that a win. Let's just pull the bottom bracket bits in there so they're out of the way. I'm not knocking. Don't know if you can see that. I'll try and really don't know if you can see that. It's too small on the screen. Put my finger behind it as well. You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've dropped on absolutely lucky there. Yeah, they are. You can see they're a bit worn, so we'll be swapping them out.